Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Boston, Stephen Wright.
Thanks. Two babies were born in the hospital, two little babies. They put them in the same room. Each family came in and took their babies away. Babies lived their entire lives. 85 years later, by a bizarre coincidence, end up in the same hospital, in the same room, laying there on their deathbeds, just looking at each other. One of them said to the other one, "So, what did you think?" All search parties are surprise parties. I can't wait to live in the moment. I have a parrot, and the parrot's been using the phone a lot, and I asked him about it and denied it, which pissed me off. If he admitted it, we could work something out, but he denied it, so I come up with a plan to catch him in the act. I was going to go on the roof of the building across the street and look through my telescope into my apartment and watch the parrot while I was gone. So I'm on the roof of the building across the street, but I couldn't find my telescope, so I'm looking through the scope of my deer hunting rifle. And he's seeing it, and he goes out of the cage and goes over to the phone. I can see what he's doing, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna kill him. It's right before I pulled the trigger, I look down to the street, and there's two cops down there, but it's Halloween, so I don't know if they're cops, it's just people dressed as cops. Which is what cops are anyway. Then I'm thinking I can't shoot the parrot. Maybe they're the real police and I can't cross the street in the middle of the day carrying a deer hunting rifle. So I went into the alley and I found an empty refrigerator box and I put the rifle into the box and I'm carrying that across the street in order to not draw attention to myself. Meanwhile, the parrot's on the phone calling the police department, telling the guy in the street with a rifle in a box. And they come over, you know how another one drives up, you know how they all like to show up at once like seagulls at the beach and you're trying to eat a sandwich. And one of them says to me, "Is there a problem here?" I start thinking about God and how smart he was when he put that little switch in your head so you didn't have to say absolutely everything that you were thinking. Because he's asking me, is there a problem here? And I'm thinking, of course there's a problem here. There's a problem everywhere. What is this, some kind of existentialist abstract game show that you're hosting? And they said, "What are you carrying this thing for?" And I said, "Oh, it's Halloween and this is my costume." And he said, "Well, what are you supposed to be?" And I said, "I'm an ant." And I said to him, speaking of tangents, so let me ask you something. Do you think that in Europe that Miles Davis is known as Kilometer Davis? And he said, "All right, get in the car." So I get in the car and I started adjusting the seat and the mirrors so to be more comfortable behind the wheel. And he pulled me out of the car and he handcuffed me. He said, "What do you think of that?" I said, "It's all right. Now, if it gets cold out, I'll only need one mitten." Then they pushed me into the back of the car and I said, "This is great. What year is it?" And he said, "It's 2014, but it already has 80,000 miles on it." And I said, "I don't mean the car. I mean, what year is it now?" The guy just stared at me, so I stared right back at him, and there was a long silence. And I said to him, "You know, I find you kind of attractive." Not in a sexual way, more like a platonic hooker. And he said, "What the hell is the matter with you?" I said, "Oh man, I bought a parrot and he didn't know he had an IQ of 165. Plus my ankle is killing me. I tried to go mountain climbing on a relief map. Fell off the table onto the floor and twisted my ankle. And I told him, "Oh, a parrot likes to fake snore really loud until he wakes me up. And when he knows I'm looking at him, he likes to fake talk in his sleep. I'll just look over and the parrot will be in the cage like this." Of course I'm naked. I'm a goddamn bird. The cop said, you should be behind bars. I said, you know what I would do if I was ever behind bars? I'd drill a hole through one of the bars and put one of those peepholes like in a hotel room door. Just to give the illusion of still having some privacy. Oh no, he's not here right now. He'll be back in about 2 hours. And the cop said, just shut the hell up. Just look out the window or something. So I looked out the window. Oh my God, what? Oh, I thought I saw an optical illusion. What do you mean you thought you did? I thought I did, but I didn't. That's what screwed me up. I'd been alright if I'd seen it. And it started snowing out, and I said, oh man, I can't believe it always snows on my birthday. And he said, today's your birthday? And I said, no. I said, I just wanted to prove the primitive linear thinking you would have by taking those two facts and coming to that conclusion. And he said, just shut the hell up. Just look out the other window. So I looked out the other window, saw a mailman out there, which reminded me, I was a little kid, my grandfather told me that all mailmen were from England. That's why the steering wheel was on the other side. And I believed him. I got on to meet the mailman. I took my grandfather's false teeth out of his glass and shoved it into my mouth just to be weird. Go down to meet the mailman. Excuse me, sir, expecting a package. You were supposed to arrive today. I was like a little skinny kid with huge horse teeth and an English accent for absolutely no reason. Since I had my grandfather's false teeth, he had to use his spare false teeth. He kept his baby teeth his whole life. And years later, had him put a fake gum, so this guy's looking a little kid with huge horse teeth. Excuse me, sir, expecting a package. You're supposed to arrive today. And look up the window and sees an 80-year-old guy smile with little tiny baby teeth. And the guy just started crying and he drove away. And I'm thinking that happened 50 years ago when I was 9, which doesn't seem that long ago, which means I'm going to be in my 70s in about half an hour. And I thought in 41 years I'll be 100. Then they tapped the cop on the shoulder in front of me and I said, you know, I don't feel that bad for almost being 100. And he said, what the hell are you talking about? He said, what do you do? I said, I do the hokey pokey. What do you do? Oh, what do I do? I'm a freelance astronaut. I have my own space program inside my head. I'm going to be going on outside of the moon soon. I won't be able to talk to you for a few minutes. Just then the parrot flew by about 65 miles an hour. They didn't see him, but I saw him. I knew that goddamn parrot. He was green. He liked to land in traffic lights, make red lights look like green lights. I said to the cop, you better not go through that. That's not really a green light. That's a parrot inside the traffic light. And he said, just shut the hell up. So we go through the light. We were in an accident. We were hit by a truck that was carrying seatbelts. The seatbelts all over the place. And the parrot's looking down. Oh, you should have buckled up. You should have buckled up. That's a true story other than what happened. That was God's will. That was God's will that happened. God's will. Imagine the reading of God's will. And the oceans go to fill. I've been going to a marriage counselor, but I'm not married. I just go in and make shit up. I don't know, it's like she's not even there. What's her name? I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I was talking to my grandfather today. I have a seance app. He told me when he first came to this country, he only had $3 in his pocket, but he had $10,000 in his shoes. I had an uncle who was a little clown for Ringling Brothers Circus. When he died, all his friends went to the funeral in one car. Anyone can fake their own death. Try faking your own birth. You know, if heat rises, heaven might be hotter than hell. I know 5 different languages. I can't speak them, I just know of them. I know a girl who had plastic explosive surgery. Her head is gone, but she looks better. They say laughter is the best medicine. I think it's cocaine and whiskey. I bought this little thing for my car. You put it in your car, it sends this noise out when you drive through the woods. Deer won't run in front of your car. I installed it backwards by accident. Driving down the street with a herd of deer chasing me. I can levitate birds, but nobody cares. It's a good thing there's gravity, otherwise when birds die, they just stay right up there. The sky would be full of dead birds. Hunters would be all confused. Imagine if birds were tickled by feathers. See a bird fly by laughing hysterically. I like to fill my tub up with water, then turn the shower on, act like I'm in a submarine that's been hit. Hermits have no peer pressure. That's a good thing to say to the police next time they pull you over. License registration, please. Hermits have no peer pressure. License registration, please. Whenever I think about the past, it just brings back so many memories. License registration, please. There's a fine line between fishing and just standing on the shore like an idiot. You want to step out of the vehicle, please? What's another word for thesaurus? You never see long-sleeve Hawaiian shirts. You never see a sign that says emergency entrance. I owed my friend George $25 for 3 weeks. I owed to him, and the whole time I had the money on me, and he didn't know it. We're walking through New York City at 2:30 in the morning. Man steps out of an alley with a gun. He says, "You two, give me all your money." I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "George, here's the $25 back." When I was a little kid, I wished the first words I ever said was the word quote, so right before I died, I could say unquote. Lots of my friends have babies, but I don't have any babies, but I have lots of friends. Babies don't have any friends. They all have those baby monitors so they can hear the baby from the other room, which I consider a form of wiretapping. Someday there's going to be a really smart baby that makes some fake recording of some fake baby noises. He's going to crawl out the window and go to Italy. I need one of those baby monitors from my subconscious to my consciousness so I can know what the hell I'm really thinking about. Sometimes I talk to myself fluently in languages I'm unfamiliar with. Just to screw with my subconscious. It's a good thing a lot of people speak foreign languages, otherwise those people would have no one to talk to. When I was in first grade, the teacher told us the president was married to the first lady, and all I could think of was, wow, I wonder if she ever saw any dinosaurs. She told us about Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel. That day I went home, I was laying at the top of my bunk bed, looking at the ceiling, and I'm thinking, why not? My brother's pushing the bed around. Give me more aqua. I did Jesus and Santa Claus on a seesaw. I had Jesus on the low end, even though he weighed less. Because he's Jesus. Jesus pissed off a lot of people, you know. He stopped turning the water into wine. I'm trying to take a shower. What did Jesus ever do for Santa Claus on his birthday? Don't think about it, it doesn't mean anything. I wonder if Jesus got less presents on his birthday because he was born on Christmas. Where's my stuff? You know, the New Testament is pretty old. I think they should call them the Old Testament and the most recent Testament. You know, when you look at a star, I mean, you don't have to be there anymore because it takes so long for the light to get from there to here, maybe gone. It just looks like it's still there. That's how I see my old girlfriends. Imagine if light bulbs worked like that. I thought I told you to shut that light off. I did. It should be up by Friday. The universe is expanding. That should help ease the traffic. Imagine Pulitzer Prize fighting. See two writers beating the shit out of each other. Imagine how weird phones would look if your mouth was nowhere near your ears. Imagine Oshkosh straitjackets for little insane children. Oh, stay away from Jimmy. I met this woman, I really liked her. As soon as I met her, all I could think of was wondering if there's such thing as the opposite of a restraining order. I liked her because she wasn't normal. She liked to dance really fast to very slow music, which I found very erotic due to a head injury as a small boy. I was playing jacks way too fast. Her eyes were a little bit too close together, like the headlights on a Jeep. I used to call her AC, almost Cyclops. In her spare time, she liked to waste time. She was a mail-order bridesmaid. She would drink so much she would slur her pauses. She lived in a beautiful house, had cathedral floors. You walk in, you just fall right down into it. We went out for about 6 months, and she left. She went back to school in Seattle. She was studying forensic astronomy. And also calcium anthropology, the study of milkmen. She wrote me this beautiful letter. It was gorgeous, and I read it in the bottom. I crossed her name off, and I wrote my own name, and I sent it back to her. And I never heard from her ever again. Apparently, she didn't like what she wrote. The reason I'm so laid back is because in high school I smoked a lot of Ritalin. My problem is I was reincarnated without ever having been alive the first time. I have 2 pairs of reading glasses, one for fiction, one for non-fiction. I've read the Bible twice, once wearing each pair of glasses. It's the same. My nephew has HD, ADD. High definition attention deficit disorder. He can barely pay attention, but when he does, it's unbelievably clear. I saw an advertisement for some invisible fences. I thought that'll be perfect for my invisible dogs. I live in Massachusetts. I didn't shovel a driveway once this past winter since I bought the flamethrower. You know, the Earth is bipolar. So I've been emailing my answering machine, which has been sending faxes to my cellular subconscious, which has call waiting, so in case I'm thinking about something else, I can get back to myself later. It's out of control now, don't you think? I heard soon they're gonna have digital numbers. My dog has a website. All it is naked cats. So last night, as I was downloading pornographic bootleg SpongeBob's, sent to me from a hairdresser I know in Argentina, I noticed I had no milk for tomorrow's coffee, so I took the car keys, which had been strategically placed under the short leg at the kitchen table so the soup wouldn't spill, and I had to make a decision: do I walk to the store, or do I drive and spill the soup? After half an hour on my hands and knees, I delicately removed the car keys from under the table, and the soup didn't spill, which pissed me off so much that I whipped it against the wall. Then I tried to wash it off with my machine gun squirt gun, which was full of another kind of soup, and I kind of liked the pattern I made, so I took photographs of it, intending to do paintings of the photographs, which I would sell back to myself later, since I am a private collector. Then I get in my car and I'm driving out to the store, and my mind's skipping around and wondering how my life would have been different had I been born one day earlier. Then I'm thinking maybe it wouldn't have been different other than I would have asked that question yesterday. So I go in the store and no one's behind the register, and I'm thinking I should go behind the register so when people come in they can ask me questions and I can say, what do I look like, I work here? And I went to the back of the store where they keep the milk, and out of the corner of my eye I saw the 17-year-old girl come out of the back room and go behind the register, and I'm wondering, well, what was she doing in the back room? And then I tried to distract myself from my own imagination. I looked at a can of peas. I started counting the peas one label of the can of 44, 45, 46. And whenever they had a meeting on how many peas you'd be on the label of the can of 47 is too many. 45 is not enough. All in favor of 46. Okay, it's 46. Then I took the milk and I went up to the register and I said, hi, how are you? And she said, will that be all? And I said, no, I want to buy this. I tried to read her mind, but I couldn't because I can barely read my own mind. Then I was imagining me and her running naked across Fenway Park, holding hands, and the crowd cheering, go, go, go. And I said to her, do you like baseball? And she said, what? And I said, do you sell lighter fluid by the case? And she got all nervous, and then I left. I'm out in my car, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm still alive. Now what am I going to do? A few years ago, I went into a video store to rent a movie, and I go in, and I couldn't remember the title of the movie I wanted, so I'm describing the movie to the guy. I said, yeah, you know, it's that black and white movie. It's on color film. I think it stars Nicolas Cage and Haley Mills. It's that movie where the country loses the war because they accidentally made the submarines out of styrofoam and they won't go under the water. The guy's just blankly looking at me as I'm saying this to him. I'm realizing this is not a movie I saw. This is a dream I had. I'm thinking, my God, I'm trying to rent one of my own dreams. Which would be pretty cool, actually. And the guy says to me, that's not a movie you saw, that's a dream you had. And I said, how do you know? And he said, because you were in here last week trying to rent the same thing. And I said, all right, let me know when you get it in. Next week I'm going to have an MRI to find out whether or not I have claustrophobia. In school they told me practice makes perfect, then they told me nobody's perfect, so then I stopped practicing. I've written several books. I wrote a book, it's called How to Drink Heavily While You Do Your Taxes. you're okay. I'm on ecstasy. Then I wrote, do submarines have backup lights? That's my very environmental political book based on my theory that the ending of the Cold War is what started global warming. Lately I've been reading music while I listen to books on tape. Then I tried to invent live animation. I couldn't find people who could draw fast enough. A friend of mine was killed in a bizarre origami accident. He was using sandpaper. Here's some of my answers to some everyday questions. Excuse me, sir, do you know what time it is? No, I'm not from around here. Excuse me, do you know where the train station is? Probably near the tracks. Hey, how are you getting to the airport? Well, I'm flying to one of them. Sometimes I'm over someone's house and no one's in the kitchen. I like to write things on that to-do list they have on the refrigerator. Memorize distances to all of the planets. Adopt baby, then sell on black market. You ever notice when a house burns down, the only thing left standing is the fireplace in the chimney? How's that for evidence? I collect rare photographs. I have two very rare photographs. One is a picture of Houdini locking his keys in his car. The other one's a rare photograph of Norman Rockwell beating up a child. I bought a new camera. It's very advanced. You don't even need it. Why are the pictures square if the lens is round? Why is it a penny for your thoughts, but you have to put your 2 cents in? Somebody's making a penny. A friend of mine is in jail for counterfeit pennies. I told him it wasn't worth it. You know how they caught him? He had the head and the tail on the wrong side. It's minimum security. He's on a wiffle ball and chain. I bought a new phone. The first thing I did was push redial. The phone started having a nervous breakdown. They say you're not supposed to put metal in a microwave oven. They're right. I'm missing a wall in my kitchen. I was in Chicago. I was in a hotel of pools on the 23rd floor. I couldn't believe how deep it was. So I'm driving down the highway 100 miles an hour with a friend of mine, cruise control on, both of us in the back seat. The police pull us over. They don't know who to arrest. Nobody's driving. Cops started crying. I went to high school in London because we moved around a lot because my father thought he was in the military. When I came back to Massachusetts, where I lived and went to school in Massachusetts, but in the summers I worked in Toronto in a planetarium. 9 of us worked there. We had our own softball team. We would play other planetariums in the area. When no one was inside the planetarium, we would practice inside the planetarium, and I played second base, so I stood right under Saturn. The shortstop stood on the Jupiter, third baseman stood under Mars. One time we tried this same setup outside, but everybody was just way too far away from each other. I was just standing in the middle of Utah like this. So we had one game left before we had to go back to school. We were playing the Walter McKenzie Planetarium in Nova Scotia. It was the bottom of the 20th inning. 1-1 was the score. I'm playing second base. I'm on acid. I was in college. I had a prescription for acid. My doctor thought I should be on it, be more focused if I was on. So I'm standing there thinking about everything and nothing at the exact same time. I'm wondering who thought of inventions. I'm wondering why is the alphabet in that order? Is it because of that song? And I'm thinking the guy who wrote that song wrote everything and he doesn't even know it. All of a sudden, a two-seater plane crashes on the field right behind me, and I was on acid, and I tried to catch it. I thought, this is wild. There's people sitting on the ball. I thought, I have to get out of here. I have to drive that 1 inch on the map from Toronto to Boston. So I get in my car, and I'm driving, and I see a guy hitchhiking, so I figured I'd go back and pick him up. So before I backed up, I put a tape in the stereo. I had a tape of that beeping noise that trucks make when they back up. I turned it up real loud, and I'm backing up. The guy gets in, and I said, where are you going? And he said, I love this album. I said, it's the best of backing up. I said, I'll leave it on when we go forward. It's really weird. So we drive, and I said to him, if I get tired, will you drive? And he said, no, I can't drive an automatic. And he asked me if I've ever fallen asleep driving. I said, no, I've woken up driving. And he asked me if I've ever seen a UFO, and I said, yes, but not from the outside. So we drive and we see a sign, next mile, 1 mile. Can't argue with that, huh? And then another sign, next rest area 25 miles. And I thought, wow, that's pretty big. People must get really tired around here. Then I said to him, what do you do? And he said, I'm a student. And I said, what are you studying? And he said, journalism. And I said, really? I'm writing a short story myself right now. It's the story of a photographer who goes completely insane trying to take a close-up photograph of the horizon. And I looked at him and he almost started crying. We're driving along and all of a sudden there's a school bus conked out on the railroad tracks. The school bus was full of the Vienna choir boys. I don't know why, I don't have all the details. The train's coming, getting closer back. Oh my God, the train like cutting back and forth like in the movies. Oh my God, oh my God. Can you feel the tension? Like in the movies. You know in the movies when somebody reads a letter and you hear the voice of the person who wrote that letter? That kills me. That happens to me when I read menus. The guy who wrote the menus has a real weird deep voice. Egg salad, beverages. Bus train. The guy says to me, my God, these people are going to be killed instantly. I said, well, everybody dies instantly. It's the only way you can die. You're alive, then you're dead. He said, but they're not going to die of natural causes. I said, they're going to get hit by a train. Naturally, they're going to die. And I said to him, what's the youngest you can die of old age? And gonna start crying. Just then a flock of bird angels flies over. A flock of what? Bird angels. Bird angels would have 4 wings. Picture it, don't make me be the only one. A flock of bird angels flies over, lands on top of the bus, lifts the bus up off the ground. Vienna choir boys are screaming their heads off, which sounded amazing. Train's coming, goes right into the bus, hits a corner, tips over. The train was carrying toy trains and toy train accessories, little horses and little guys with a bucket, another guy with a hammer. Hey, ever come over here? I can't come over there. We don't even exist. What do you mean we don't exist? Why are we so small? I'll tell you why we're so small. We have to be smaller than the train so the whole thing looks real. Who cares if it looks real if we don't even exist? Oh, don't give me your train shit. The bird angels land the bus back down. The Vienna choir boys stumble out of the bus. They look over. They think the train had babies. Because they're Catholic and they don't know anything. I said to the guy, look at this mess. Trains, toy train accessories, bird angels, the Vienna choir boys. We better get out of there. They're going to blame this on us. I start driving away, and I'm driving. I go too fast, and the police pulled us over, and he says, license registration, please. And I lean over to get it, and I said to the guy, my God, that cop's voice, that's the guy who writes the menus. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, never mind, I'll tell you later. And I give him the stuff, and I said, by the way, officer, you know what today's specials are? And he said, what the hell are you talking about? He said, what are you, a wise guy? I said, I have my moments of clear perspective. Anyway, we were arrested. A friend of mine is a pilot. We were going to go somewhere in his car, and for absolutely no reason, he waited 45 minutes before he backed out of his driveway. I have another pair of pants just like these, except they're red with green stripes and they're shorts. Imagine if you could see an itch. If you could see an itch, you'd just be talking to someone. Kids today aren't like kids when I grew up. When I grew up, kids would come over to my house, would do things, would make things, would build things. Kids today don't even talk to me. Last night I was in a restaurant called Bohemians. The line for the bathroom was incredible. I finally figured out what I want to say on my gravestone. You're next. So I was driving around, went through a stop sign. They pulled me over. They said, why do you go through the sign? I said, hey, I don't believe everything I read. Then they pulled me over for speeding. Why are you going so fast? Why? I had my foot to the floor. Sends more gas through the carburetor. Makes the engine go faster. The whole car just takes off like that. And I said, see this right here? See this? This steers it. 2 weeks in jail. Oh, yeah. There's a song about a girl named Shannon. Shannon. This next song, I wrote when I was 3. Oh, I think the kitten's trying to kill me. I better kill him first. Good thing Mommy's sleeping. Where are the big scissors? Here, kitty, here, kitty, here, kitty. gonna play a different funny kind of game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. A friend of mine is on the Ouija board of directors. Another friend of mine has reverse Tourette syndrome. Random people just swear at him for no reason. I raised my hand. I said, a bird. And she said, why? So you could fly? And I said, no, so my shit would be white. Teacher started crying. One of my grandfathers died when he was a little boy. My other grandfather was insane. He had a summer home and a winter home on the same street. He didn't like to travel. Whenever my mother was going to have another baby, she'd send me out of the way, make me spend time with my grandfather. He was out of his mind. Every day he made us stand in a little room together, side by side, looking straight ahead for 3 minutes without talking to each other. He told me it was elevator practice. Now, sometimes I'll be on an elevator with someone and I'll say, your grandfather make you do this too? And they'll say, what the hell are you talking about? He was a small claims court jester. So I'm driving down the street past the gas station. There were 2 signs in the window, help wanted, self-service. So I went in and hired myself. I made myself the boss. Then I took all the money and left. Lately I've been trying to feel healthier, so I've been eating a lot of vitamins, but I don't know. How many vitamins you have to eat before you feel full? One good thing about it, though, the color of my urine is amazing. It's like going to a laser show. I go in there, shut the lights off, I put Pink Floyd on. So I called up the airline to make a reservation. They said, how many will be traveling? I said, how do I know? It's your plane. I bought one walkie-talkie. I didn't want anyone to hear what I was saying. I'm addicted to placebos. I could quit, but it wouldn't matter. I'm also part of the Jehovah's Witness Protection Program. I have to go door to door and tell everybody I'm somebody else. I used to be a narrator for Bad Minds. Oh, I think he's in a box or something. I honestly don't know what the hell he's trying to do. He's trying to ride a horse through a wind tunnel. I think it's wrong that only one company makes the game Monopoly. I'm writing an unauthorized autobiography. When it comes out, I'm going to sue myself. 24-hour banking? I don't have time for that. A friend of mine has a trophy wife, but apparently it wasn't first place. exhausted from trying to believe unbelievable things. All my friends are telling me stories, and they say, isn't that unbelievable? And I say, I guess so. Then I try to believe it, then I'm exhausted. And I have to be asleep by 1 in the morning because my dreams are going to start whether I'm sleeping or not. Which can make for some pretty strange conversation if I'm still awake. I thought those were your rickshaws. What the hell are you talking about? When I was in high school, I worked in a pet store, and they fired me because what happened was they had 3 snakes in there, and one day I braided them. Tried to pass it off as one snake with 3 heads. Oh yes, it's very rare. It's from Connecticut. I asked my girlfriend if she ever had sex with a woman, and she said no, and I said, you should try it, it's fun. And she did, now she's gone. Went to the circus, they threw me out of there, they saw me walking around carrying my high wire cutters. You never see advertisements for string. They make string, but they never advertise. I think they would sell more string if they advertised. That's just my opinion on it. If I had a commercial, it would be for string. Hi, if you need to get some string, get this string. This is the greatest string in the world. It's almost rope. But it's not, it's string. You can cut it up into different lengths and tie stuff up with it and stuff. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, just get it. I'd like to do a tampon ad. Hi, I don't have to use these. But if I did, these are the kind I would use. It comes with its own string. Last February, I was in New York City walking down the street, and I saw this old lady wearing a full-length fur coat, and I said, a fur coat, and I said, excuse me, man, what kind of animal is that coat made out of? And she said, raccoon. I said, my God, he must have been huge. She was wearing pierced hearing aids. She had on unscented perfume. Came in a little empty bottle. I was walking through the cosmetics section of a department store. I picked up this little tiny bottle of perfume. I said to the woman, is this a free sample? She said, it's free with any purchase. I said, did anyone buy anything today? Last Christmas I bought my brother some gift wrapping paper as a gift. And then I wrapped it in the same print, so when he opened it, he didn't know where the present started. This is him trying to open it. In case you didn't know why I was doing it. So I turned the TV on, there's like a movie's gonna come on. Before the movie starts, it says, this film has been modified to fit your television. Can you imagine if it wasn't? All you see is like a knuckle. So I'm driving down the highway, there's a guy hitchhiking, he's holding a sign that says heaven, so I hit him. He probably went there, he looked like a nice guy. I got a new dog, he's a paranoid retriever. He brings back everything because he's not sure what I throw him. Sometimes I like to go into a waiting room and just sit there and wait. Nurse comes out, do you have an appointment? No, just waiting. What are you waiting for? Nothing, just avoiding the moment. Would you like to see the doctor? I don't know, what kind of a doctor is he? He's a foot doctor. I'd like to see a man that tall. A few minutes later, a 12-inch guy walks out on his way. He says, take off your shoes and socks. I take them off. He looks at me. He says, nothing wrong with you. I say, take off your shoes and socks. He said, what do you think? I said, I don't know. I've seen bigger feet on a bird. Then he started dancing really fast and whistling really loud. And then I left. What the hell did you think was going to happen? You people are nuts. When I was in 3rd grade, I had an 85-year-old teacher. She could barely hear anything, so she would turn the thermostat down to 16 degrees, so in case anyone talked, she could see her breath come out of that. When I was 7, my parents had a party. I ran around to all the guests with glasses of water. I said, here, drink this. This is a magic glass of water. If you drink this, you all get a little bit taller. And they all drank some, and I thought, oh, isn't this a weird kid? And when they all drank some, I went back to what they were doing. I went to the room where they keep all the coats, and I hemmed all the sleeves 2 inches. They were all freaking out when they left. Whenever anyone asked me if I was shipwrecked on an island, I could only have one book with me, what would it be? I always say how to build a boat. Took a lie detector test? No, I didn't. I'm tired. I was up all night trying to round off infinity. I got bored and went out and played poker. Poker with tarot cards and got a full house and 4 people died. Today I was at the roulette table having a furious argument over what I considered an odd number. He said, look at this 4, it looks Chinese. On the walls of my house I have paintings of the rooms above them, so I never have to go upstairs. Doesn't matter what temperature a room is, it's always room temperature. I'm making wine at home, but I make it out of raisins so it'll be aged automatically. Life is short. It's not that wide either. You might say it's like a skinny midget. You never see any Indian midgets. Don't look at me like I'm an asshole. Has anyone here ever seen an Indian midget? Oh, that's right, you're not supposed to say the word midget anymore. Oh, that's right, you're not supposed to say the word Indian anymore. I'll tell you what you can still say, though. Eat me. In high school, I went out with 2 different girls. One was like the girl next door if you live next door to a whorehouse. The other one was an angel on earth. She had little bumps on her back where her wings used to be. Apparently, at one point, she also had wings on the front. I went to take her out. Her father said, I want her home by 8:15. I said, in the middle of August? That's cool. It was the first time I was ever in love, and I learned a lot before that. I never even thought about killing myself. Sometimes at night we would go to the planetarium and lay down on the roof and look up at the stars. was like being in a galaxy sandwich. I bring my harmonica. I had a pair of glasses. I painted lines across the lenses. When I looked at the sky, the stars became notes on the lines, and I would play the sky. One time a shooting star went by. I almost broke my neck. I said, Lucinda, will you always love me? She said, I doubt it, and even love you now. I've been arrested several times. I was arrested for scalping low numbers at the deli. Number 3, 28 bucks. I can't wait to be arrested and go all the way to the witness stand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, you're ugly. See that woman in the jury? I'd really like to bang her. Should I keep going, or are you going to ask me questions? My grandfather had a special rocking chair built that would lean forward rather than backwards so he could fake interest in any conversation. When I was little, one Christmas he gave me a box of broken glass. Gave my brother a box of Band-Aids. And then he said, now you two share. One time he said, Stephen, how old are you? I said, I'm 5. He said, when I was your age, I was 6. Then he cackled madly and threw a spoon against the window. He was an odd man. He must carve the turkey out of a chicken. His will was an IOU. He told me sometimes when you lose, you really win, like if you were playing musical electric chairs. One time I told him a dream I had, and I said, what do you think that means? And he said, it means you were sleeping. I remember when he died, I was a little boy, and I went to the wake with my aunt, and I was kneeling down at the casket and looking at him inside the casket, and I started thinking about my flashlight. I started thinking about the batteries inside my flashlight. And then I said to my aunt, maybe he's not dead, maybe he's just in the wrong way. I remember his last words. He was 91 years old. He had the covers up like this, just enough strength for one last sentence. He looked around the people standing in the room and he just said, fuck you. So I got off the plane and I forgot to undo my seatbelt and I'm pulling the plane through the terminal. And the wings are knocking people over. And I almost broke both my arms trying to hold open a revolving door for someone. Then I tried to hang myself with bungee cord. I kept almost dying. Last time I tried to commit suicide was about an hour ago. I was down the street on the roof of this very tall building. I ran, I leaped off the edge and accidentally did a triple backflip, landed standing on my feet. Nobody saw us but 2 little kittens, and one of them said to the other one, see, that's how you do that. I have a paper cut from writing my suicide note. It's a start. Went to the store, asked the woman if she had anything to put underneath the coasters. I told her my coasters were marking up my tables. The woman started crying. Then I went to another store and asked her if they had any maps that weren't aerial views. That guy was weeping openly. Then I said to him, was the blue the sky or the water? He said, just get out of my store. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. My sister has 3 brothers and no sisters. I used to tease her about this fact when we were little. I used to say, listen to me now, you're not really in this family. Think about this now. You're the only one that doesn't have any sisters. I remember when I was a fetus, I used to sneak out at night when my mother was sleeping. I thought to myself, now's the time I should start stealing some stuff, now that I don't have any fingerprints. When I go to the grocery store and I see a guy pushing 30 shopping carts across the parking lot, sometimes I say, somebody else might want to use one of those. Last time I went to the grocery store, I caused a lot of commotion because I tried to buy that thing at the register that separates your food from the other guy. I said, no, I need this. You don't know what it's like where I live. I just remembered my mother told me never to talk to strangers. I'm insane. You think it's a show. I'm insane and I'm not insane, which makes me pathologically ambidextrous. Oh, I see. My feet control which way I go. I never noticed that before. These aren't my clothes. That's what I get for taking the first piece of the luggage that comes off of that thing. Sometimes I'm wearing dresses. Not because of that. Little summer with yellow things with little straps. Hi, my name is Denise. Do you like my whiskers? Do you want to come in my car with me? I have perfume and guns. That's not like the other kind of jokes, is it? That one leaked out. Look, one guy, two shadows. That's a trick I learned in the insane asylum. Yeah, I think I should get 2 lunches. I got a new shadow. I had to get rid of the other one. It wasn't doing what I was doing. One time I was walking through the woods and I saw a rabbit standing in front of a candle making shadows of people on a tree. I said, don't be so sarcastic. I'm gonna get a tattoo over my whole body of me but taller. I'll look like I'm out of focus. I remember the day the candle shop burned down. Everybody just stood around and sang happy birthday. One time I went fishing with Salvador Dali. He was using a dotted line. He caught every other fish. So I decided to hook my brake lights up to my gas pedal. Just to confuse the people behind me. Light turns green, I hit the gas, they stop, and I'm gone. And I took the headlights off and I put strobe lights on. So when I drive at night, it looks like I'm the only one that's moved. I'm a peripheral visionary. I can see into the future, but just way off to the side. I'm trying to drown myself a little bit at a time, so I don't get the bends. I mixed this myself. I got 2 glasses of H, 1 glass of O. I don't trust anybody. I got food poisoning today. I don't know when I'm gonna use them. Went to the movies recently, went up to the concession stand. Can I help you, sir? Yes, like some popcorn? I like that kernel right there. No, that one right there. Yeah. Put it in one of those big buckets. Will there be anything else? Yes, I'd like a small Coke and a large cup, and just fill it up the rest of the way. Does that fit here? No. To go? No. I'm gonna eat it in another dimension. I would explain it to you, but your head would blow up. Whenever I pick up someone hitchhiking, I always like to wait a few minutes before I say anything to them. Then I say, so, how far do you think you were going? Put your seatbelt on, I want to try something. I saw it in a cartoon, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. You ever notice sometimes the moon comes out in the day, but the sun never comes out at night? It pisses me off. Some days I'll be walking down the street and I'll just remember this fact and I'll just go. Baby still needed a vacation, but I still see him at the beach. That pisses me off, too. When no one's looking, I'll go to the baby's laying. I'll say, what are you doing here? You haven't worked a day in your life. Little baby laying on a dish towel, trying to get a little tan to impress his little baby friends. Oh, see my diaper line? Let me make a note of that. In Atlantic City, they really like it when I fake kick the baby. They're still laughing. Maybe later on I'll fake kick a small boy. Who knows where they draw their line. One time I was hitchhiking and a hearse stopped and I said, no thanks, I'm not going that far. Snakes have no arms, that's why they don't wear vests. Imagine if I dropped dead right then, that was the last thing I ever said. People would say, you were there, what was he talking about? Nothing. Snakes have no arms, that's why they don't wear vests. My father used to tell me that when he put me in bed at night. Snakes have no arms, that's why they don't wear vests. Good night. Oh man, imagine if this was really happening. I was about 4 years old when I noticed it quite often when adults would swear. Right after that they would say, oh, pardon my French. This happened over and over again. Then one day I was walking down the street wearing a beret and this old lady leaned down. She said, oh, do you speak French? And I said, yes, I do. And she said, can you say something to me in French? And I said, fuck you, you fucking asshole. I caught her teeth when they flew out of her mouth. Thank you. It's very hard for me to write that song. I had to barely press down with the pen on the paper. It's not that I don't want to live here anymore. I'm just tired of living on the earth. It's not that I want to kill myself. I just want to put closure on my birth. Days turn to weeks, weeks turn back into days. It's like having premonitions of flashbacks. We started drinking wine and playing strip Russian roulette. What a game. What a game. I met her in a nightmare I had in Texas. About 3:15. She said, "You look so familiar." I said, "That's how I feel about me." She was a seamstress for a straitjacket company. Said she could get me something free. I said, "I'd like something kind of casual." She said, "That's not the way it's supposed to be." She stood standing up. She slept laying down. She had a stained glass eye. She was a red-headed girl with long black hair and a smile that would make you smile if you were thinking about something else. I told her what I loved about her most was her mind, because that's the part of her that told her to get in bed with me naked. That's right. This next song's called "They'll Find Her When the Leaves Blow Away," because I'm not raking till spring. It started out as a love song. No, I'm just kidding you. When I was a little boy, we had a dog, and I don't know why, but the dog was born with 2 vaginas. And we named it Snatches. Here, Snatches. Why can't I find a girl like you? I wasn't doing that when I bought it. Imagine I go into the store to return it, and I say to the guy, "Yeah, sometimes there's an 80-foot light that comes off of it." I mean, it's not doing it now. He says, "Oh yeah, we've been having that trouble with that model. Just wait right here." Then he calls the cops. This next song doesn't go something like this. It goes exactly like this. Eddie was a friend of mine. He was killed playing checkers. You know that term, king me? The other guy wasn't sure what he said. Phil was a friend of mine. He was killed walking into a walk-in closet. He was walking way too fast and way too far. Dennis was a friend of mine. He was killed breaking a wishbone. Nobody knows that an accident or suicide, they don't know what he's wishing for. Bob was a friend of mine. Nothing happened. Warren was a friend of mine. He used to play the guitar in the subway. And one day he decided to go electric and he plugged into the third rail and he died. Like my daddy used to say, if worse comes to worse, we're screwed. He told me to think of the sunset from the sun's point of view. He told me I was born 8.5 months premature. Paul was a friend of mine. He was killed playing tag. It wasn't really tag, it was push. Near the Grand Canyon. When I was a little kid I had a pet possum. And he never ever ever played dead. And it pissed me off so much that I killed him. Do you think that maybe I am crazy? On a scale of 1 to 10, 6 being the highest. Like my daddy said, my guardian angel must be an alcoholic. He told me that wind chimes were for stupid people so they'd know when there's a breeze. Thank you. At this time, pour water B into glass A. The audience may find this boring, but Steve, you have to do things for yourself. What does this say? Why are ballerinas always on their tiptoes? Why don't they just get taller women? Here's me in 3rd grade. Yes, Mr. Wright. Yeah, I don't get it. What? Just in general. So many numbers and things and stuff and everything. I think you're lying to me. What does definition mean? I don't know. The year starts and it's January and it's winter. Then it goes spring, summer, fall, and December. It turns to winter again. So there's 5 seasons a year and 2 of them are winter. So you lied to me right there. Also, I don't see any differences between the words yes and no. For instance, yes, it's not raining yet. No, it is not raining yet. Teacher said, I want to see you after class. I said, I can't go into the future. Teacher started crying. Whenever I fill out an application, it says, in case of an emergency, notify. I put doctor. What the hell's my mother gonna do? Drive down and operate on me? I'm here now, let's open him up. Plus, I brought him some cookies. He can have them if we can put his head back on. My mother was always feeding me pancakes with maple syrup, then she switched to truth serum. I'd be eating the pancakes saying, yes, I'm the one who broke the window. When I caught on to this, I realized every time I ate pancakes, a few hours later, I got the shit beat out of me. And one day she said, Steven, you want some pancakes? I said, no, I don't like pancakes. She said, how about some waffles? I said, yeah, I love some waffles. Got the shit beat out of me. When I was little, my grandmother said, Steven, come over here. I said, what do you mean? She said, you know, you're over there, now come over here. She said, here's $5, and don't tell your mother that I'm giving this to you. I said, it'll cost you more than that. So I'm laying in bed with my girlfriend reading a second-hand diary that I bought. I don't remember this. She said, let me ask you a question. I said, what? She said, if you could know how and when you were going to die, what do you want to know? I said, no. She said, forget it then. So I figured I'd get up and go for a walk. She said, how long are you going to be gone? I said, the whole time. Walking down the street past the telephone poles, a poster stapled to it. It said, reward, lost $50 if found, just keep it. I wear eyeglasses during the day. Yesterday I was walking down the street wearing my eyeglasses, and all of a sudden the prescription ran out. I'm addicted to the lint screen on my dryer. You know that screen with all the lint? I can't believe the amount of lint that's on that screen every single time I put the clothes in. I can't believe I could see every other time, every fourth time, every time. There's a huge amount of lint. You can't even see the screen. It's covered with lint every single time. I didn't really notice it on the clothes, but it must have been on the clothes because it wasn't on the screen before I put the clothes in, unless there's lint in the water or lint in the soap. But it can't be. It has to be from the clothes. This huge amount of lint, it's not even the color of any of the clothes. I try to leave and I can't because I'm obsessed with it, and I'm studying, I'm breaking pieces of it off, and I'm putting it in all my pockets because I'm insane and I'm recycling lint. Next time I go see the doctor, right before I go, I'm going to take a giant piece of it like this and put it right in my belly button. Yes, you want to take your shirt off, please? What the fuck is that? Well, that's why I came to see you. You think there's an owl living in my belly? Two years ago, they dug up Zachary Taylor to see if he had been poisoned 165 years ago. What if he was poisoned? What were they going to do then? Dig up some suspects? Dig up a jury and some judges? I'm all the way at the lint screen and the TV's on, and they're digging up Zachary Taylor, and I thought what I was doing was weird. A friend of mine does voodoo acupuncture. You don't have to go. You just be walking down the street, and all of a sudden, oh, that's much better. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.